This can save you a lot of trouble. And this goes for men or women. I'm predominantly talking to a male audience, so I'm going to refer to the one who steals energy as she. But if you're a woman, and I know there's more than a few that watch these videos, substitute that for he. Because it's not a gender issue. Some of the hurt males who like to make videos, they like to play victim and think it's a gender issue, but it's not. It's a human issue. The average person at this time and age, they don't have any life force. They don't have any energy. So everything, they're consumers. Everything that they're doing is to try to consume energy externally. The highest, best way to get energy, to get life force, is through your lifestyle, life habits, and a spiritual practice. But that takes work. That takes overcoming addictions and attachments and patterns, and see, people don't want to do that. So subconsciously, they go to the easy route, which is, what can I do to get a quick hit and fix? And we've talked at length about different ways that we stimulate the dopamine center to get a nice kind of feel-good chemicals, and there's so many ways that you can try to extract a sugar hit kind of energy, but it doesn't last. That's the thing. But here we're going to talk on this video about more how that plays in relationships. And so if you're lonely and you don't have a lot of energy, then you're a male, you're going to be, generally speaking, looking for a woman, particularly if you have a deficit of female energy and you didn't get a lot of that growing up. It's just biological. You can't help it. You're going to be looking for a girl to somehow complete you, directly or indirectly, because you can't help it. It's instinctual. So when you meet her, you're gonna be like wanting her to complete you, and she's gonna be wanting the same thing, because we live in a broken society. It's not just broken home, it's a broken world for the most part. And people are hungry for energy. Everything they do, it's about, they want to get energy, rather it be making more money and getting fame, getting attention. It's like sickening. It's reaching a climax soon, and there's going to be some collective bottom. But here on this channel, we're talking to individuals who have already hit a bottom, because that means you're more open and receptive to this message. And so I'm sharing to you. So when you meet, if you can do this introspection and analysis when you meet somebody and you assess, why is she attracted to me? She's acting like she's really into me. Why? Now, I've said in a previous video, not too long ago, you have to know these things. It's not about you ask her. You can't say to her, like, why are you really attracted to me? I mean, you can, but you need to know the answer. You can't depend on her to tell you the truth. How many people have deep level self-honesty that can be vulnerable and admit their shortcomings and be like, yeah, you know, I'm into you because I really like how you look, and when I go out in public, I'm talking about how we might feel when we're with a girl. When I take you out in public, like, I like the attention I get. Makes me feel good. I get a dopamine hit. Oh, and when we have sex, that's a nice unity. I like that too. And I like when you orgasm. It makes me feel like a man. Like, who's gonna say all that? Nobody has that level of self-honesty. So you can't expect the girl either to tell you these things. You have to know these things. How do you know these things about someone else? You have to know your own stuff. There's no way around it. You have to develop the capacity and willingness to do your own self-introspection and catch your own self out, all your little idiosyncrasies and insecurities, and you have to, like, see all that. Then it's easier to read that in others. Okay. So, why is she into you? That can save you a lot of trouble if you know why she's into you. Now, okay, let me give the ideal example first, illustration. This is super rare, 99.99%, you're not gonna find it, but let's, okay? I have to give a point to, like, the goal, so-called goal, like, what is the ideal? And then we work backwards. I've told the story probably a couple times somewhere, that you have Sri Dayamata and Paramahansa Yogananda. Paramahansa Yogananda was a great Indian sage, and he came to America and he taught Kriya Yoga. So in, I don't know, early 1900s, he came here, and Shri Dayamata, she was a 15-year-old girl at the time, and she watched Yogananda speak. I think, I always forget, was it Oregon or Seattle? Somewhere in the West. Now, this girl is exceptional. She came into this world not interested in pleasing sense pleasures and having a family and having kids and, you know, finding somebody who has a lot of money to take care of her. And she didn't, nor did she, was she an alpha female. She wanted to get business and be known as somebody important, and she didn't have any worldly desire. It just wasn't in her. She didn't like do some kind of logical deduction and say, well, I know this isn't going to make me happy. No, it just wasn't in her. Okay, she was born with a yearning for God from the get-go. So she was suffering at her early part of her life because, like, she's in this world, right? This whole world's about sense pleasure. Those who are more on the front lines of awakening, this is how you feel. You're like, what am I doing on this planet? This isn't for me. It's like if you're in college and then they put you back in elementary school, you're like, this doesn't really resonate. So she was feeling like that. And then she listened to Yogananda speak, and like I said, Seattle, I think. She's like, yes, that's what I want. She knew that he was a man of God, and he had realization of this power. Not power in an egotistical sense, but he knew the source to a sufficient degree, and she wanted that. She wanted somebody that she could drink from on that level and vivify her own tendencies to want to know the source also. So she met with him after he got done speaking, and they ended up, that was her, you could say, father, brother, friend, everything for the rest of her life. She died in his ashram at like 95. No sex, it was totally platonic. But you see, when you find and recognize the source of your existence, you're not caring so much anymore about sex and more mainstream type comforts and pleasures. You just don't care about that. I always got to throw this disclaimer in, and even when I do, people still can't hear it, but what to do? Everybody has those desires for the most part. That's okay. You fulfill them as best as you can, and you just be done with it when you're done with it. But she was done already. Yeah, when you get older, if you lived a full life, it's easier to come to this realization than when you're a teenager or in your 20s. But there's no standard, there's no rule. Look at her, she was 15. So there's no rules, there's no absolutes about anything, actually. There's always exceptions. So she found this man, and she wanted him for that. That's the highest reason to be into somebody. My last video or two ago, I talked about the different levels of female attraction. Okay, and I talked about that being the highest, spiritual attraction. So there you go, that's highest. Now let's work backwards. If you have a desire to want to know what it feels like to have an exclusive partnership or intimate relationship with a woman, then you might meet someone and you might ascertain. It can take a little bit. You gotta have a couple. See, it's like you can't read a book on how to dance. You have to like experience it and go out there and do it. I'm not good at it, but I'm just saying. And then maybe if you read a book or something, you'd understand it better because you have experience. So you can't learn what I'm talking about just through a video. But still, it can be helpful on some level. I don't know how. It's individual. So I want to say that too. You might meet a girl and you're really into her and she's into you too. It's not like she's like some hardcore gold digger and she's just plotting you from the beginning. No. I learned this the most deep when I went to Asia. If you take care of them and give them money and put her in school or help her mom or feed her horse and donkey, she'll really feel like she loves you, because that is how they're tuned. That's their understanding of love, and they'll express it accordingly. And I've known more than a few guys who knew that going into it. They knew that, but they didn't care. They wanted the experience. They enjoyed the outpour of female energy that she'd give him. Okay, that's my point. But it's good to know what you're dealing with. So see, when there's understanding, it nullifies some of the drama. You don't start getting resentful at her and be like, oh, you're just using me. Why? No, you know it from the beginning, how they're wired. It's not a personal thing they're doing against you. This is this is where they're at in their evolution. So if you still want to be and experience a woman, then you might have to deal with that. It's up to you. It's up to you. If you really need to have the experience, then you'll do it. And then you'll do it forever, or for this life, or you'll do it for a while and stop, or I don't know. It's individual. But it's very helpful to know why the person's into you. Or maybe they just like having sex with you. They're a little bit sex addict. They have more orgasms with you than with somebody else. And if there's some insecurity in you, then your ego's gonna feel good and be like, yeah, I'm a real man, yeah. Yeah, I know that stage too. And then later you realize, okay, yeah, I'm tired of being used as a masturbational instrument, so I'm done. But for a minute, it can feel good. So they can be into you for that. They can be into you, maybe you're a father figure. They didn't have a good dad growing up, and so you're playing that role. I had a close friend that that was his situation. He's very high level too, but there must have been some karma there that he wanted to experience that. He didn't have a daughter, and he wanted to. They got to, you see how the karmic thing works? She wanted a dad. She didn't really have a dad that she felt close to. He was alcoholic. And then he wanted a daughter. He didn't have a daughter, but he wanted to, it's not like a real daughter, right? Because they're married and having sex, but it somehow satisfies that karma and that desire. And so they attracted each other, and there you go. But it's helpful to be conscious and know what you're getting into. This is the purpose of this video. You be conscious and know what you're getting into. Now let's talk about what most relationships are like. Most relationships, it's all about, it's very selfish. It's very selfish, and it's all about, you're wanting to eat the person, basically. You don't have any energy, and you're wanting to eat up other energy to make you feel complete or whole. And then it's off balance. What are you giving? That's the thing I want to ask the guys who think all the women are bad and they just want to use me. I'm like, what are you giving them? What are you doing? So, but they do this and say that, and okay, but what do you have to offer? It's a two-way thing. It's not, like I said, it's not, don't get into this gender racism. It's just silly. It's not true. So I wrote some notes. I lost my place. Most of the relationships, though, I can tell you, even if I don't have my place, it's about lust. And I wanted to speak on that part. And this lust is driving all the relationships. It's driving the connection. You think it's love, but it's really lust. Whether it be lust for money, lust for sex, lust for energy, it's like a very selfish, inordinate need, and you're using the other person. So you get two broken people or empty people that meet, and they try to expect one another to fill them up. Yeah, how long do you think that's going to last? That's why an average relationship doesn't last. Everybody has their list of expectations that they want, because their expectations a lot of times have to do with their lack that they feel. So if they get these expectations met, then they don't feel the lack. So it's here, I want to use you to get rid of this lack inside me. and the other partner's doing the same thing. See, we try all these things before we finally stay alone, and we're like, me and God's got to solve this. The universe has to solve this. I need to take responsibility for this fragmented human self, and this needs to get remedied inside me, through me, without the help of another like partner that I'm trying to use to fill me up. Because you just see through experience it doesn't work. You're hurting yourself, you're hurting them, and you could end up in prison or dead. I'm really happy, because this stuff gets messy, man. Get real messy. I'm really glad that I got out of all that unscathed for the most part. Like, really happy, because I've been on the planet long enough. I've seen a lot and heard a lot and known people who, yeah, man, like your whole life can be wrecked overnight, like literally. And many people's are. So yeah, the energy of lust, it's disguised as connection. This is the thing that we're trying to catch out here. And you have to have that level of self-honesty in yourself to catch that out, to know, why am I being pulled so strong toward this? What you see, a real connection, you're not going to be, it's not this obsessive restlessness pull toward the other person. See, the mind will say, wow, I think about this person all the time. That means I really love her. No, you're like really in need of her. That's why. Otherwise, why would you obsess about something like that? Like, if you're complete already, you're not going to be obsessing about them. And if they're insecure, they like that you're obsessing about them until it gets too heavy, and then they don't like it. So you check yourself. Why? Why am I being so pulled toward them? The mind doesn't like to do that introspection. It'll just say, no, I just love them so much. I like being around them. No, you can smell the need, the destructive need that's in that. So you have to know why. And see, when you can smell that in you, you can smell it in them. That's my point. You know yourself, then you know them. Not totally, but you're pretty good. So then you can know, why do they act like they like me so much? It might be an ego blow at first, because you wanted to believe, oh, they just really like me for me. Like they see the divine in me, and it's like so nice, and that's why they like me. And then later you realize, oh no, they're actually trying to, fix their own trauma and issues through me in some form or another. So then you look at that, and then you ascertain if it's like manageable or if it's like too much and you don't want to deal with it. If you need to still have that relationship, if you need, like I said, if there's a strong need to experience the opposite sex in an intimate way, then at least know what you're dealing with. Some people, you don't need to get in such intimate relationship. Yeah, that's better. It can just be platonic. It can be just spending time with the girl, and you're enjoying each other like that, and then it won't get so messy. When you start bringing sex and everything into it, it's like a accelerate button, and it throws all those issues and expectations and everything in the forefront like quick, and it's like too much to deal with. So if it stays platonic, then you can get your desire fulfilled of wanting to spend time with the female, but without all the mess. But you can't control like what you want. I had to have both. I had to first experience the intimacy and the whole mess and sexual, relation and the dysfunction that came in the relationship, because we're trying to get our inordinate needs and expectations met. I had to experience all that. And then once I saw, like, wait, there's too much duality in a relationship, man. Like there's gonna be it's gonna get messy at some point. And it wasn't my destiny to be. It depends on destiny too. You see how complex this is? It wasn't my destiny to be in a relationship long term. If it was, get married, live together forever. If it was, and if it is for you, then you'll see how to do that. That's like your work, this life, to learn how to communicate and connect with another and let things go and let your expectations go while continuing to have a relationship with them. Everybody has different destiny. Some it's like lifelong, others it's you kind of get in and get out and you get the lesson and you're good, and it could be 6 months or a year, like we don't know. Others it can be just platonic. You don't even need the intimacy. So after I had the more intimate relationships, then I was enjoying platonic. I was like, okay, I experienced the other stuff. I'm grateful. I still like the female energy. What can I do? Platonic. Let's do platonic. Here's the other thing though. If it's platonic, chances are she's gonna want a more physical partnership and intimacy at some point, or a family or whatever, because it's a girl's nature for the most part. So don't be surprised or get mad later if all of a sudden she disappears because she finds somebody who can satisfy those projections and expectations she has. You see, know what you're getting into. If you know what you're getting into, you can't really you still might feel a little emotional hurt, or that's life, but you don't get like surprised and flip out. You stay stable, you're cool, you're grateful for the experience, and now the season changed, all seasons change, this is life, and you move on. But yeah, the attraction, you see, the way you can tell an attraction is more pure, that obsessive restlessness isn't there. You're both post-therapy people, and it's more of like it's a peaceful magnetic pull. You do feel some magnetic pull because you just do, like Cupid shot you. That's natural. You enjoy being around them. Yeah, you think about them. Okay, but it's not obsessive. That's healthy. You fully enjoy them, can even say desire, but without this obsessive need. Like, oh, my life, it's contrary to what all these ridiculous movies and love songs say. That, oh, they complete me, and oh my God, I need them, and I'm gonna die if I don't have them. No, that's not healthy. A real man can never. I watch some of these movies, man. The way they make the male character is ridiculous. Please take me back. A real man can't do that. He just can't do it. It's not like ego, like, I'm not going to do it because I'm an alpha male. No, it's not. Masculine energy doesn't do that. It can't do that. Now, he'll apologize if he did something wrong. I went through this some years ago. This was the story about when I looked at the naked girls at the river and came back and my girlfriend got mad and all that. So I apologized, and it wasn't just for that, it was like a pattern. Like, she noticed things. I still like to flirt with girls and do stuff, And I told her, I said, yeah, like that still like was in me. And I understand, like, yeah, that's hurtful. I didn't mean to hurt. I wasn't doing it intentionally to hurt you. It wasn't about you. It wasn't some personal thing, like I didn't appreciate you. That's the thing that they can't understand a lot of times, because they take it so personal because they're hurt. It activates their hurt. You see how God uses relationships it's like cosmic therapy, super intense hands-on therapy. And I was trying to tell her, like, I didn't mean to do that, And I gave a very, very heartfelt apology. To this day, I remember, like, I feel very satisfied with my apology. And she was cool for a minute, but she wouldn't let it go. And you see, I'm not going to keep paying for that mistake over and over for, God knows how long. And so I ended up telling her, you got to get with somebody who's a better character or somebody you trust, because her mind turned it around to where, like, it's funny. It's like if somebody does something bad to you, and I can relate myself too, if I got hurt and a girl does something, it's like it wipes out all the positive things. All you can think about is the negative. But that's no way to live. You can't, if your partner's doing that, it's time to leave. What are you going to do? Walk on eggshells the rest of your life? Like, oh, that sucks. I did that when I was 22. I was just, oh man, I'm so wrong. I'm so effed up. And actually, she thought she wanted that, but then she got pissed off that I'm doing that too. because a real man doesn't do that, and she wanted a real man. But at the same time, she wanted me to keep being sorry for what I did. You see how confusing this stuff is? Now a guy will say, oh yeah, girls are whack. No, but guys do the same thing in another way. This human show is whack. It's not some particular gender. The reason I say that is to empower you. You can't, if you take sides, and be like, yeah, man power, or the girls, yeah, females are, the guys are messed up and the females are good. That's not helpful for you. I like this principle. It's a spiritual axiom. Anytime I'm disturbed, no matter what the reason is, it's my fault. I need to look and see, why am I disturbed? That doesn't mean you stay in the situation. It means you need to look at yourself and see why you're disturbed. That's empowering. That's why I share it. Damn, we're at 26 minutes almost. All right. When you're practicing semen retention, you're conserving your energy. You're not wasting it on chasing external hits and dopamine, fixes and going to clubs all the time and just living a debaucherous lifestyle that is overstimulating. You're going to start conserving your energy. When you start conserving your energy and you're not leaking your energy all over the place without knowing it, what's going to happen is these false attractions, these attractions were the real gold diggers, the girls that are not post-therapy, they're not, you're on a different frequency. You're on another radio channel now. Those songs can't come in. You're not going to attract them anymore. See, somebody that's complaining all the time, like, hey, everybody I attract's messed up, whether that be a girl or a guy. No, that's your frequency. That's why you keep attracting it. So you gotta look at yourself, change your life, raise your vibration, and then you'll start attracting higher level connections in relationships. That's don't just blame the world. No, everybody, all the girls are stupid. They're all, no, that's you. And if you're meant to walk alone, walk alone. You're not running the show. Like, have you figured that out yet? The universe is running the show. It decides the situations and the people that come in your life and everything else. Getting into my spiritual channel now. I have a spiritual channel, Spiritual Renaissance. If you're vibing with this kind of talk, you can go see that channel, because that's pretty much all I talk about there on that one. So in summary, once you have some awareness and consciousness of your own self and your own, you can say, shadow side, how that plays out, your own selfish nature, then you can recognize it better in others. And when you stop playing this game with your own, when your motives for attracting a girl become more pure, more on point, guess what? You're gonna attract girls whose motives are also more pure and on point. You can't escape the law of attraction. It exists. It doesn't care whether or not you believe in it. It stands alone as truth. So you cooperate with it and understand it and work with it, and then you can use it. It will run your life much better than you trying to manage it with your mind, or trying to find techniques and go to classes to learn something that should be organic. You can't learn something that's organic in life. How are you gonna, you can't do that. These things we talk about here, they get revealed, they unfold in your life the higher you get. You don't learn these things, it's impossible. But you need to know that for yourself. Don't take my word for it. All right, I'm out, man. I'll see you guys.